Nick Kotenberg. In this video series, we're going to be exploring Socket Cluster Client, which is the client side of Socket Cluster. And this allows you to connect multiple servers together. So, in summary, in this video here, we're going to learn how to connect two servers together. So, one of the things that's important to note about Socket Cluster is it kind of has two ways of sending messages. There's one server to one server messages, and there's kind of a global publish. So how that kind of works is when a client or another server publishes data on the publish channel, it broadcasts to everybody, and an emit is directly tied to one specific either client or server or however you're doing the messaging. So how we're going to handle that is first we want to be able to tell that a client has connected and they've also disconnected. And we're also going to explore the different types of messages that you can do. So to start, we need to install this Socket Cluster client. So what I did is I created a new directory, just a simple node directory. You didn't need to do all the Socket Cluster stuff. And I npm install socket cluster client. Save. So we have the data. Once that's installed, you'll see it's in the package.json right here. I just simply grab it. I create a socket with the cluster framework. I make a connection. In this case, I'm in port 3000, and this is my host address. And then I send some different types of messages out. And you'll see that we're only going to get this guy and this guy. And I'll explain why in just a minute. So let's look at it. So our node server here. So the server's up and running, and we'll connect this guy. So see, this client has connected, and these are the two messages you get, which are only these two messages here and here. Now you notice there's a broker here, and broker here. So you might say to yourself, okay, it makes sense that I wouldn't get this guy because maybe he's only listening on this channel, which you'd be right, but why am I not getting this guy here? He's emitting to the server. Why is it not being listened to? And that's because on the broker, we're only listening to publish. Okay, we haven't talked about broker yet. Broker is sort of a back-end process that's running on Socket Cluster that allows you to communicate between different workers, the master process, and other servers. So a lot of times it's pretty standard to use your worker to deal with client data, and then at work I use the broker to handle server-to-server communication, and I have different channels I use for it to handle that. So in this case, as you can see, the broker starts out like this is how you normally see it. And I've added this simple publish event here. So the broker on publish is going to check to see if the channel is broker, so that it knows that's for itself, because remember, the publish is global. Everyone sees those messages. So the broker only wants broker messages. And then we're going to console log the data. So why we did it this way is because we want to be able to have dynamic data here. So we can even do more stuff like you can do message types, different responses and stuff from different servers. You can have all sorts of functions in here. You can create new models. You can do so much dynamic stuff with a broker. It's pretty dang cool. I work, for example, I manage multiple server data. I migrate all the data to one main server. We integrate it into our system because some of their stuff's kind of legacy, so you have to build a new system. And then we serve that data out to clients. And we use our brokers to do that. Okay. So what's really going on here? So here what we're doing is we're publishing on the broker channel, and we're passing this message hello, which you see it right here. Well, that matches up. It's on the publish, and the broker catches it, and so on down the line. This is just emitting, so that hits this function down here because remember, this SC2 made a connection to SC1. So when it is emitting, it's emitting back to SC1. It's important to note that. But we're not catching broker here at all. So if we did do something like client on, what do we name that again? Broker, we would get something from the worker. So you can actually send messages that way as well. Data, I'll show you here. We'll just console log data there. Restart, disconnected, restart, and you'll see the hello 1 and 2, which is associated with the hello 2 here. This is on a broadcast. Nobody's listening to broadcasts. That's why it's not messages. And then here, the broker again, just to show that it does work here. That's basically it. It's not much more complicated than that. If you wanted to run a socket cluster and then run a socket cluster client and connect and do all sorts of stuff, you can do that. I prefer to have one master server with socket cluster at work, and then I have multiple node servers running that connect to the server. And then I manage it from the master server. But however you want to do it, and it's as simple as that. It's not very complex. It's pretty interesting, and you can build really, really dynamic, powerful applications this way really easily with John here his socket cluster client. It's very nice. So thanks for watching this video. I know it's very short. I thought this video would be pretty simple. It's not too complex. But if you have any questions, please feel free to post them down below, and I'll be glad to answer them. And thanks for watching, and have a great day.